It's OJ jumped up here. Oh, there he goes. What's up, OJ? Come on over here, bud. Good boy. I bought him a seat and I went over. He likes to sit in this one that belongs to the hotel. I got him a fold out seat thing here. Let me see if I can get this thing going. Wait a minute. Where's he at? Here it is. Sitting in your seat, right, buddy? Yeah, he likes it. Anyway, I just jumped on here. I'm going to wait a few minutes. Give it a chance to send out some damn notifications. Let's see what happens. That might have been one. Let's see. I don't know if that's one. Hey, who's that? Wait a minute. Yo, what's up, memory? How you doing? Just started this live stream momentarily, or a moment ago. I was actually going to do live stream later, but I'm sitting here, nothing to do, so I figured I'd fire one up. This is the last night I'm staying here, I think, unless I win the lottery. Now it's Wednesday. Actually, tomorrow's Tuesday. Wednesday, I'm going to go check out about the moving into that double wide trailer. Gives him time to get stuff out of the room that he's renting, and I can put things into my storage unit that I don't need. Bring some stuff out that I do. Anyway, I just did a video. It's another freaking oil refinery blowing up just today. It's like the other day there was one, I think, in Louisiana, and another one, and dude, they're just destroying all these oil wells, and nobody's saying hardly anything about it. That's the fucking, we're getting hit. That's an attack on the United States, and nobody seems to give a shit. They're fucking blowing up our oil wells, our oil refineries, and other places too. So something's really fucking whacked. You know, they're not even putting National Guard out around the oil refineries or nothing. They're letting this shit happen. You realize that? They're letting it happen, and they're all in on it, and they're going to lock us down, and they're going to starve you to death. Isn't that great? That's exactly what's going to end up happening. People are going to start starving because they won't be able to bring the fucking trucks of food, and people will be killing each other when it gets real bad, you know? And I don't think anybody, I get the feeling people don't realize. We don't start speaking up. We're done anyway, I think. This is it. This is like the end game here. Time to get right with God. So I say it over and over again, you know. It is sad, dude. But you know what? It's something that needs to be said, in my opinion. I couldn't live with myself knowing that, like, somehow, you know, if I'm seeing this and other people aren't, and I ain't trying to wake them up to it, there's a lot of people walking around like this will never happen, like shit will never happen. It's all bullshit and everything. I'm telling you, they're in for one rude awakening, especially if Trump just breaks loose and fucking nukes Iran. Because who's that? Yo, what's up, Long John? How you doing? You're here right on time, dude. As a matter of fact, I was just looking at a video. I don't know. Do you know Carl Vernon? Do you ever see Carl Vernon's YouTube channel? Hey, Mixed Media, how you doing? Can you pray for me? Fire close by, and I don't want to leave to evacuate. My husband is out of state too. I'm praying for you there. That's weird that happened because this morning I was going downstairs. The elevator at the hotel has been broke down, and I thought I smelled smoke. or smelled like burning rubber. They told me that it was the laundry room. Don't worry about it or something. But it freaked me out because they had the alarm went off in the elevator the other day and just kept ringing for a while. So they had a cone in front of all the elevator doors. They wanted you to use the stairs. So I don't know. It's kind of freaked me out. Yeah. What is it? Is it in Denver or in the area where you're at? Mixed media, how far are you from the fire? Yeah, yeah. You know what, Long John? I have a feeling that's going to happen. And you know what? That's millions of people dying right there. Guess what? Guess what? Iran's got a lot of Christians in there, believe it or not. So, this is not a Christian Muslim thing only. Yeah, I mean, it is. But what I'm saying is, people are like, whatever. It's also Christians in there. And at the end of the day, they're all human beings and they're going to get fried if that happens. And that's horrible. What's this saying? Yeah, I ain't a big elevator fan. Yeah. Yeah, mixed media. I'll be praying for you. You might be all right. How far is the fire from you, Mixed? Yeah, the world's really messed up. Every day something new. You know? Wait a minute, here we go. I don't know how far it is yet. I'm trying to ask my friend who told me in the first place. Then don't panic yet. It might not be that close to you. That's it. It's got a lot of Jews and there's, yeah, you're right. Absolutely. And you know what? Again, at the end of the day, they want us hating on each other, continuously. It's divide and conquer. But you know what? Start fighting among ourselves. The elites win. That's who's starting all this shit on us. The top tier, the billionaire club that's fucking trying to take our ability to travel. That's why the oil prices are going through the roof. And while we're in there fighting Iran and all that shit, it's all about lockdowns. That's my belief. Now you could say, yeah, there's other shit. They don't want them to get a nuclear weapon. Dude, they've been working on that nuclear weapon for 20 years. And even if that's the deal, why now? What? Wait a minute. Hang on. Let me see this. She's agreed to pick me and the cats up if we have to get ready for evacuation. Just keep everything near the door so you can get the hell out quick, make a, what do you call it, a bug out bag for yourself. What's that? Gas are becoming Biden prices. Yeah, that's the thing, dude, is that I got a feeling that's going to go so high that only, the rich can really afford to travel. I'm wondering if they're going to start telling us we can't travel and they're limit the amount of traveling we're doing. Are they going to take these Lear jets away from these millionaires? The private, they're to yank them the fuck out. That's fuel, okay? Now, if American citizens are going to have their cars taken, and which is coming too, don't worry about that, but they're putting fucking all kinds of spying equipment in there to see if you're well enough to drive and all this shit. Driving for 100 years. Now all of a sudden, this is all coming together at once. Car insurance is through the roof, no street lights, high gas prices. It's all about carbon footprint. That's why they can't have street lights or have to use these shitty ones. And yet they're using halogen lamps that causes glare at night. It's ridiculous. And there's 100 other things, all at the same fucking time. Flock lights, flock red lights. What is on fire? Probably a lot of woods and shit. It's in out west. She's at. Wait a minute. They're going to push gas so high eventually to push electric vehicles as the only option. Exactly. You're exactly right. And it's ridiculous. They're getting away with doing this shit to us, and we can't do anything. And another thing, they're getting ready to, if they haven't already, roll out Starlink. That's all the Wi-Fi and all that shit will be on that. Who is Elon Musk, and I don't trust any of that shit, And 5G, they're going to be frying us and doing all kinds of shit with all this shit. What's this? And then they'll ban gas vehicles. You're right, unless you are Josenites of their lackeys. Yeah. Carter Lake, 30-acre Colorado. Yeah, I'll keep an eye out for that. I'll pray for you tonight, Mixed Media. Hang in there. And you know what? What bothers me is nobody seems to be able to do anything, or nobody wants to do anything. Nobody wants to upset the apple cart. Just go along to get along. That's the kind of shit that's going to eventually put us in death camps. Don't say anything. Shh. Just keep, going along to leave us alone. Didn't they say that when Hitler was murdering off millions of people that were just kind of, basically they marched them right into the freaking gas chambers, and people didn't want to believe it. I tell you, better off waking up and getting ready, because shit's hitting the fan. What's this? Probably an hour away from me. Yeah, so the wind could change. Maybe they'll get it under control. So don't worry too much yet. What's this? How much damage does a tanker on fire to the environment? That's exactly right. I'm glad you said that, Long John. They have no problem blowing up all these oil wells and all that garbage going up and destroying the ozone, our breathing air, and everything else, trees. And they just keep doing it. But they're going to come and tell you, you gotta shrink your carbon footprint. You're destroying the world. That's the same tone of voice that they probably said, you're killing grandma. Put your fucking muzzle on when COVID rolled in. Same kind of scumbaggery they're pulling. What's that? I hate the mindset. It's dangerous as hell. How much damage? Yeah. I hate that. Yeah, exactly. Trying my Jedi mind tricks, praying, thinking positively. Well, let's all say a prayer tonight that Mixed Media is safe and the fire gets under control, and hope for positive results there. I just heard something come through here. Let me see something. I wonder what the hell that was. Give me 1 second. Here's another one. Okay. What's this? Trump rejects Iran deal. Yeah, we're going to be going nuclear in short timing, I think, soon. He's not going to take no for an answer. He's going to keep trying to. It's all important about him winning this whole thing, because it's not about peace. It's a pissing contest. The Iranians don't want to lose face, and he doesn't want to, and they can't even meet in the middle ground. That's the problem right there. Yeah, in my opinion. Thank you, Memory. Yeah, maybe if we all pray, you might be all right, Mixed Media. When did you hear about this? Was this just recently, or has it been burning for a while? Another thing, though, is how the fuck come there's so many fires and shit going on? Well, I can answer that. I'm just, asking everybody else, basically because they're fucking starting them. There's no way in hell it's all coincidental. It's all just accidental. No, this shit's sabotage. We got hundreds of thousands of sleeper agents in our country too. They even told us that, and yet they're not catching any of them in the act of doing any of this sabotage. Oil well after oil well and refinery after refinery burning down. Seems kind of a lot of bullshit. That's why I don't believe in anything the government says. Doesn't make any sense. And then the whole thing with the frickin' hantavirus. Why the hell did they just release? I think they released 10 people to go home, no quarantine from that cruise ship, right? So now they brought them into the country, no quarantine. But it takes, I think they said it can take up to, was it 8 weeks for it to incubate? They're purposely trying to do shit. Or they lied about that. And as they got off the ship, maybe then they infected them with something. And it's going to hit them in a while. I don't trust any of this shit anymore. I feel like we've been lied to so long throughout our lives that we might never get a straight answer. Isn't that what they're saying NASA means too, by the way? Never a straight answer. Like, did we ever really land on the moon? I was alive when supposedly they did that. I was a child. But I have to wonder. I think it's starting to think everything's bullshit. And all they got to do is tell us that there's a disease out there and just keep sticking to their story, you know? And it's like they keep saying it and saying it. Even if nobody's buying into it, they won't change up. So eventually, you know, they start getting people to wobble back and forth like they start to believe. It's a Jedi mind trick, like you were saying, mind over matter. Yeah, they're trying to convince people too. I mean, I'm not saying there isn't hantavirus or anything, but there's a lot of weird things. If you start listening, number one, why did they let him off the ship and didn't quarantine him? You know what I'm saying? Offshore. That alone fucking seems really to be bullshit. The politics are not the solution. They are the problem. You're right. And it's a problem. It's going to screw us citizens over, Royal. Yep. I don't think the human race should be living like it is something happened in our past. Women living like it is something happened in our past. Yeah. We're losing everything. And they even said that you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. Fuck that. You know, they're taking everything. And I mean everything, you know, the right to travel, but they're doing it in a way it's all subtle. And they can blame it on, you know, carbon footprints and fires and whatever the fuck else they want, and viruses. And that's how they're going to lock us down with 100 different things. And once you try to like prove them wrong on one thing, they got 3 or 4 other reasons why you got to get locked down. You know, there's a world war going on. Yeah, the ones you guys started, and it's just kind of dragging on. Yet, I just don't. I'm sorry, I just don't believe any of this shit anymore. It's just, I don't. Read that already. Hang on 1 minute. Let me go get something. What's up, OJ? Oh man. What's up, OJ? Hang on, OJ. Hang on. Oh, you stole my seat, OJ. I went out and bought you a seat. Sam, he jumped right in. As soon as he got out, he jumped out of this one. I went out and bought him a $9 seat over at the store. Gonna keep it in my car. Why? Check him out. He's sitting right here. Let's there you go. Hang on, let me move you over a little bit. Had to get a bottle of water. Now I'm farther away. I can't read that. Hang on. Get some peanut butter here. I'll put this behind that. Okay, that's a little bit better. Move my coffee cup though. Come on, Oj. Give me a little bit of room here. Jeez. So anyway, it's just, I don't know what we're going to do about it, because it's gotten to the point where it's just insane. Today, as a matter of fact, I'm driving home. I was up in an area called Pike Creek, driving home, and a guy's out by a red light with the sign said about the flock camera. There was a flock camera, a thing pointing to it, like drew an arrow to it. And I'm thinking, at least this guy's out, trying to bring attention to that shit, because I didn't even know it was there at that spot. I knew where the other one was because they had a sign up in the beginning. Now what I think they might be doing, I don't know if they're doing it around the country, but if you guys see, and it might just be telling you that there's a red light up ahead, but there was a sign, and they're all new signs too that I'm seeing of, just a red light, red, green, the actual light on a yellow sign, a diamond-shaped sign. Doesn't say a word, but it's new, and it was up right around the area of when you go down there. So I have another feeling that they're going to start handing out tickets all over the place, because people ain't going to see these things, and they're going to basically lock you down that way too. You won't even be able to afford. You'll be getting tickets. No cop's going to pull you over. They don't have to waste effort on that. They'll just do it with cameras and shit, which is illegal because they're stalking and harassing you electronically. They're following people literally from light to light. Someone said that, I believe it. Exactly. I think they're taking and following you because they have cameras everywhere. Literally, as you're driving along, if you're staying, especially if you're in a 15-minute city that they're talking about building, you won't be able to find one little corner of that city that isn't under constant surveillance. I mean, what the fuck? Why would you even do that to human beings? Everywhere, cameras, and you can't go anywhere with, and pretty soon you're going to have written permission, probably, to leave your home. Maybe I'm being overly, what do you call it, paranoid or whatever, but I really believe this shit's coming. I can't even talk right now because I'm just fucking pissed off about what's coming down the road. I can see it happening, I see how they act. I see what they've been doing. And I can see how people are just going numb and not doing a whole lot. I just heard in this area the other night, I don't know if I told you guys about this. There's something wrong with people, like big time. I've been noticing that people have road rage. They're driving crazy. Well, the other night, I go in this Wawa. Did I tell you guys this? I think I did on the live stream last night. Wawa, and I usually get coffee and something to eat 2 or 3 times a day sometimes, when I'm door dashing. Okay. One of the employees in there freaked out, pulled a gun. They had barricades that were like plastic work barricades, pulled them over in front of the door, trapped 2 of his co-workers in there with him, with his gun, and then lit a fire in there. This place is closed now. I'm starting to wonder. Now, 2 things came to me. One, they said the guy was about 36. I wonder if the guy, because this happened a lot with Vietnam vets, they were flipping out when they came home. And I'm thinking MK Ultra, or just being fucked up from all the shit that happened over there. And they're triggering them. Maybe something's going on here, and you're going to start seeing this, because literally in the same area, evidently just recently, somebody went into a graveyard and just blew their head off just the other day, right in the same area. And it was another incident, so I'm starting to wonder what the fuck's going on. People are crazy as shit. Let's make wait a minute. Hang on, let me move OJ's chair a little bit more. Let's make what's that say, a site? Whattheflock.com. Yeah, exactly. If we don't know, it should be up there pretty soon anyway, because I think people are really getting pissed off about all this shit. Wait a minute. Then label all of them. Yeah, yes, exactly. And that's what this guy was doing. I think he had a cardboard sign. He's standing on it. The only problem is he's out there. Their facial recognition cameras are going to get him, and they'll quietly nail him somehow. That's how that shit works. You have to go out there. You better have camo face paint or something over your. That won't help. Like a mask. They probably even see through that shit anymore. What's this? I was pissed the moment they added, wait a minute, cameras to the department stores, because I saw all this coming then. I can understand it, but you know what? They had to do it because people were stealing stuff and robbing the store, okay? Why were they stealing it? Because they were able to get away with it because our government let them. The fucking attorney generals weren't prosecuting anything. Remember that? The Democrats were in power. And you could steal up to $999 out in California and walk free and do it again the next day. As long as you didn't break the $1,000 mark per day. They were letting people do that, which would fuck any business up. So no wonder why everything's gone to shit out there. And then on top of that, if you have no consequences, people are just going to do what they want, Wait a minute. Trying to keep up with this. The reason they want to control us, it's because they fear us. That's right, because there's way more of us. It's like, I don't know, did you ever hear of African army ants? They're like little ants that can, like, totally, millions of them roll into a village, right into somebody's hut, and just eat all the people and everything in there. They can eat an elephant. It's like really bad in certain parts of Africa. They have that happening. I don't think it's like that, but they're ferocious. Is that right? Is that the right word I'm looking for? But serious, that's what it's like. We're like, there's so many of us that we can overwhelm them, and they know that. Let's just say, wait a minute. Urgent. Fauci's final day. Today's the 11th. They don't prosecute him. He walks. This is the deadline. Wait a minute. Jersey Mike, go to. You can steal millions as long as your name is Trump. Yeah, but it's also happening with the other side too, dude. Don't let yourself be fooled. Because it's right wing, left wing, same fucking dirty bird. That's why I ain't playing politics. I'm waiting on Jesus. By the way, Jersey Mike, we got a hoagie shop out here called Jersey Mike. You connected to that, or is that just a name? Wait a minute. No, they always create their own problems. The solution. Yes, exactly. That's what security is for. Wait a minute. F those cameras. You could justify anything that violates our privacy. Exactly right. If you use the excuse of safety, they always use the safety. It's for your own safety. Keep safe. I used to hate that during COVID. Like, be careful, be safe, and all this. No, I'd rather live dangerous freedom than tyrannical safety. Let me do what I'm going to do. I'm an adult, and don't fucking try to take my Fourth Amendment right to travel and all my other rights, the right to protect myself with this, Second Amendment, and the right to speech, First Amendment. They're trying to take everything from us. It's ridiculous. So you can't even defend yourself. And then they're going to try to criminalize every one of us one way or the other. Like I said, the flock cameras, they'll be rolling out tickets for you all over the place, right? And some people might not know that they're out coming, that there's a ticket coming. If you happen to be homeless, right, living in your car, you don't have a mailbox, you're fucked. And it builds up, and then they come snag your license first. Probably eventually they jail you, take your ability to drive. I mean, maybe I'm exaggerating a little because as far as I know, that hasn't happened yet. But all this shit's coming down on us soon, I think. What's that? Hang on, wait a minute. We all have black files that can set in front of you. Yeah, exactly. They wouldn't be spying on us. Yo, what's up, Trundy? How you doing? Well, the mailbox on the car. Yeah, right. Exactly. Then they fucked up. They didn't deliver it. Yeah. How you doing? Good seeing you, bro. I noticed about 20 years ago, people stopped getting angry. Where are you living? Because they're getting nice and angry. Oh, you mean angry at the government screwing us? No, they went passive. Like they're go along to get along. They might be pissed off, but we've been putting up with it. And it's probably a mixture, maybe something in the chemtrails, frequencies, shit in the food to, lower testosterone and all this other shit. That's a double-edged sword there. That they would like to lower our testosterone so men don't act like men. And the other thing would be reproduction goes down, because that's the whole goal, is to kill off most of the population. Even if it's death by 1,000 cuts, they're doing it 100 different ways, Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Long John, me too. We need righteous anger. You're right. Well, you know what it does say in the Bible too? End times, good will be considered bad and bad will be good. It's like reverse. And me and Tammy were talking about this. Like, she said she made a comment somewhere on some video, and she said, man, that's sick. And someone, probably a young kid, took that as like she was saying that was cool by saying sick. Sick has a new meaning. Same with bad. Oh, that's pretty bad. Like it's cool. So in other words, even the mindset and the way people speak has changed from when we were younger. What's that? Wait a minute. I got a phone call today. When I called back, it said, number unidentified, and the same number called me 6 times today. That's nuts. Don't answer it or block it, dude. Block that call. And then you could probably trace it back or find a way to star 69 to figure out who it is. Get the number, call the operator, say you're being harassed by this number. Can you tell me who that is and what's going on? What's that? One Nation Party in Australia is going very good. We're beating liberals in heaps. State going for Labor next. That's cool that at least and Democrats are taking an ass beating right now. They're freaking out because the Supreme Court won't let them do what they want. They want to change all the rules. Did this every time we're coming up near an election, like gerrymandering, and then they're claiming that Trump's doing it. Well, look, you can say a lot of shit about Trump, but they're the ones that are bending the rules on that. They're power hungry, just like Trump, and even more so, or at least as the same. So, wait a minute, hang on. Words are spells. Yes, exactly true. There's a lot of power in words, and they know that, because most of those people are into the occult on one level or another, especially the elites, the upper crust. I mean, they're fucking sacrificing people, to Baal still. Something that was done centuries ago is still going on. They're just doing it in a different way, so you don't know that that's what's going on. What do you think all these people are missing for with trafficking them? Some of them are being sold into slavery, prostitution, but others are probably being sold for sacrificial for sacrifices, guaranteed. You think Epstein Island's the only place where all that crazy shit was going on? There's probably 20 more Epstein Islands at least. Yeah. I blocked the number. Good. Basically, we're fighting against green energy, energy schemes, and imagination plus no houses. Us Aussies, what's that, have had enough. Exactly, dude. You know what you need to do over there, man? I'm guessing this. I don't talk to people who are blacksmiths. Start making fucking guns. Fuck them assholes that are in charge. I mean, what are you gonna do? They come and take all that, and then they're going to take your right, yeah, or not. I'm not going to say that because, you know, powers that be hear that. But the fact of the matter is this: why would you take people's way to protect themselves unless you're a tyrannical asshole that wants to leave them no way to protect themselves, so you can roll in and do what you like? These governments are fucking criminals. Yo, what's up, Fred? Let's see here. Immigration, not imagination. Exactly. It's a good point. Well, the thing is, Trundy, I said this before. I'm not hardly that upset at the people that immigrated into this country, from South America. I'll tell you who I am, though. The people that financed that, because they paid a lot of those people money to come up here. They're in a third world country suffering down there. And would you stay put, or would you go and go to another country if somebody's handing you wads of cash and telling you can get away with whatever you want and buying you a fucking new car? Because that was happening, to win the election over here. That's some fucking wrong shit. So I'm not hating on them, because there ain't one person that's in this chat or anywhere else, I say this all the time, that wouldn't try to get out of a shit situation where you're living in a third world country, and starve, and you're watching your kids starve. Of course, they're going to come up here. But they got us hating on each other. We should turn it around, because eventually the people they're bringing in, they're going to do the same thing to them. They're going to give them jobs for right now, and then they're going to fucking throw them out and bring in AI and robots and shit. They're using one group of people to fucking go after another, and then another one to go after that, and then when they're ready for it, they'll roll out robots, and it'll be too late. It's like when they came for the Polish people, it wasn't me, so I didn't care. When they came for the Jews, you know what I mean? There's some saying like that during World War II that happened, where they're smart enough. Hitler was smart enough to go after small groups and blame them for all the troubles in the world, and they rounded them up. And then they go after another group, But Hitler fucked up when he went from just jumping around in Europe to go try to fight Russia and take Russia early in the war, because he stretched himself too thin, and he did it at the wrong time of year, Russian winter, and thank God for that, because otherwise Germany might have won. What's that? Exactly. Wait a minute. All the institutions and systems have been corrupt for long times. Yep. Exactly. Wait a minute. Bloody oath. Yep. There was an episode of The Simpsons where there was on a ship about a quarantine or a virus. Yeah. I think I heard about that. Now, I'm telling you, how many times has The Simpsons predicted something, and it was pretty accurate? See, Matt Groening, the guy who does that, guarantee you he's a Mason, a high-level Mason, and that's predictive programming. It's in our movies, it's in commercials, everything. They're putting little hints. It's occult. It's the occult. They're using black magic in a sense, bringing it to fruition by putting it out there, and it's almost a universal law of I can't think of what you call it. Basically, they have to tell us what they're going to do to be able to pull it off. I can't explain it any better than that. It's something they truly believe, and that's why they're doing it. Why else would you? You don't fucking telegraph your plans when you're trying to. Well, you got a war going on. You don't tell what you're going to do. You don't put hints out there, and yet they are doing it. So I think that what I just said is the truth. I've heard that. Then they come for them and no one was left. Exactly. That's what I was trying to say. You know what I was talking about. I don't remember how that goes. Right. There's nobody left to stand up for you. That's why one by one, they're trying to go after people and cause people to hate these people and that people. We got to form together and forget any differences and know that we're all dead meat if we don't learn how to fucking get along and turn on them rat bastards. That's the way I feel about it. Wait a minute. Part of the predictive programming has to do with quantum physics. Even when so many people watch it, it's easier to manifest. Exactly, because that's the exact opposite, but the same principle of prayer. When a lot of people pray, things come to fruition. There's energy. There's somehow people can influence stuff. Why do you think they have influencers? They got YouTube and all these things, have people on there telling you what you need to know and getting you to believe a certain way, because if they're doing it with 100,000 people, they might be able to change the outcome of stuff. That's what I'm thinking is going on. What does this say? Ever seen the lady on plane saying someone wasn't human on? Yeah, exactly. Yep. And it was a couple incidences similar to that. Tiffany Gomez. Yep. There was a few others that did weird shit on planes, and they could be planting these seeds all along, doing that right before the alien shit's being said now. Like there was an alien on the plane or something, just to keep putting little seeds out there. And as time goes on, they're just going to keep trying to brainwash us with whatever brain rot they need to get us off the straight and narrow and onto the fucking crooked path that they want us on, away from Jesus, because that's what I think it's all about eventually. The great falling away will be people that start believing that these aliens they're the reason we're here. I don't buy it. What's this say? It's just something come across the screen there. Yeah, remember the damn demon face syndrome? Exactly, that's another one. Yeah, they made a big deal out of that for a little while. Demon face syndrome. Probably really a demon in there, but they wanted you to know about it, because it wasn't everybody. It was randomly they were seeing it, and pictures of people like that. Dabu 77. Trump rejects Iran peace deal. I'm watching every now and then. They're sending across a news flash there. I think they're here all along in the ocean, possibly. But I don't think they're like straight up aliens like this is Star Trek. I think they're demons from other dimensional areas. What all this talk about portals and shit a while back, they're coming through the veil, that God put there to protect us from that. That's what I believe. NASA started exploring the oceans, and what's that noped out? Yeah, NASA stands for never a straight answer, I always say it means North Atlantic Satanic Agenda. NASA. We've got, what's it saying? Buses in London that are from China, and China can turn them off at any time. Well, you better hope that's the most they can do. How do you know they didn't put something in there to be zapping you? I mean, I don't like buying anything from China. China treats their own people like shit. You don't think that they probably have all our fighter jets that we have microchips or stuff in that we're buying shit from them. And that's why they want Taiwan. Taiwan makes chips, right? And not potato chips, microchips, right? And they want to corner the market, and they can just fucking put stuff in people's equipment and be able to control it. That's what I think. Have you heard of a diamond called a djinn? Oh, demon. Yeah. Yes, I did. Yep. They're over in like Iran and shit. They talk about that. It's like a genie or a djinn. Is what you. That's dumb as hell. What's dumb as hell, Next Media? It's hard to keep up with this. I must have missed something. About buying stuff from China that, you're putting chips in your planes and shit. China train. Yeah. Have you heard of it? Yeah. The astronauts got blown up. They're still alive, work for NASA, got different names now, apparently. Yeah, people have actually saw them in different, settings. And I think some of them got pegged with facial recognition. I thought I heard that. So they just faked all that? And why? But they're gaslighting us about everything, I don't know why, but they seem to want to bullshit us and everything that comes out of their mouth. I think it's to pollute our minds with garbage. So, we don't know what's truth and what's real and what's not. So when you got to make the most important decision of your life, you're going to flunk out at 9 out of 10 times because you won't trust your own mind. You won't know what to believe. Well, I'll tell you right here what to believe. Believe in Jesus Christ. There you go. And that's what they're trying to avoid because they want to be God. They think of themselves as gods, What's this? Yep. Everything is a big ass lie. They're and it's stupid. They're even letting you know they're lying. So you eventually lose faith in everything, any form of authority. And you notice they also, for some reason, had to go grab up, there was like a dozen pastors that they grabbed up and told them, we got to talk to you. The government got them, or people in the know got them. I don't know if they were actually government agents, but the government had something to do with it. And they worked out a thing down in Tennessee, telling them about aliens and showing them different evidence. And what they wanted them to do is to soften the blow, I think, to their parishioners, and try to keep them from getting all panicky or whatever, but also trying to make it like they're coming in peace and they're, changing the whole narrative, because a lot of people are realizing they're fucking demons, most likely coming at us from elsewhere. That's what I think. And they want us to get that fucking mark. It's in the Bible. That's where all this is going to. It's a war for our souls. We have to practice listening to your highest and deepest self and practice discernment. Where is a spiritual war? Yes, you're right. Exactly. Listen for God's voice and only God. And test the spirit, meaning make sure you're not, what's that say? Off grid with, I thought something went off power. I keep seeing stuff coming across there, advertising for different YouTube things, and I have to look because shit's happening quicker and quicker. Was it Soylent Green, McDonald's meat, and super meat? Yeah, Bill Gates is killing off cows. They invented this alpha-gal syndrome tick that's getting people so they can't eat meat. So he's cornering the market again. This asshole's doing it all the time. And Fauci, after today, Fauci walks. They can't prosecute him. It's the 11th, right? I can't believe they're going to let that motherfucker roll. It's unbelievable. And now they're kicking out another disease. It's like giving you a big finger as he walks free by dumping more fucking pandemics on us.
News said, what, 13 acres, not 30. Now hope that means they're putting out the fire. It might be. Yeah, so don't worry. Prayer works. What's it say? Man, I keep seeing, I'm telling you, there's a lot of shit going on. Every time I turn around, they're flashing stuff up top. I don't know if you guys can see it. Most of them are like YouTube channels that I watch, and they're just popping across there. And there's a lot of shit going on. See you all breakfast time. Hungry. Have a good one, Trundy. Good seeing you again. Stop on by next time. Wait a minute. Yeah, that pisses me off. Makes me want to make beef jerky right now. Yeah, you know what? You might want to, because they're going to contaminate meat and everything else. You know, they're going to start really. What's going to happen? Where the hell is the Food and Drug Administration or somebody, the safety inspectors? You know, they're always having a recall of something that's poisoned people and shit. Are they going into the factories? Are they finding out how and why? I mean, they'll tell you, oh, some glass got into it, or this got into that, or shards of metal. Find out why, number one. And there's chemicals and shit that are getting in there. It's like, shut that factory down and make them fucking get their shit together. I think someone's getting paid off and they just, you know, shut it all up. You know, don't tell you about what's going on for a little while. Yeah. What you having for breakfast there, Trundy? Better not be eggs, man. You know why? Because when you fart after you eat eggs, it burns holes in the ozone. You know, they keep telling us that cows do that and everything so they can get rid of cattle. You know, fucking cows been here forever, you know, dinosaurs before that, or whatever the hell you want to believe that. You think that that's the reason that we have holes in our ozone? I don't. I got my eggs from my friend's chickens. They poop my breakfast. Yeah. Oh, man. Hang on for a minute. What's up? Can you guys see OJ here? OJ's been watching me here. See that? What's up, Oj? Yeah, I gave him this seat. I went out and bought the one I'm sitting in, right? Brought it up here. I'm going to put it in my trunk. It's a fold-up chair. He wanted that one. He loves that chair. I can't even get him out of it. Yep, yeah, he is. He conned me right out of my chair. Yeah, he's going to be bumming tomorrow a little bit because we're going to have to leave here. But then by Wednesday, I'm going to go talk to this guy and start moving in soon to the double wide. What's that say? OJ's a rock star. That's right. Yeah, he is. What's up, Oj? Yeah, I'll tell you what. Wait a minute, what's this say? Yeah. I was actually thinking once I get in there, the guy that's renting the place to me, he has 5 freaking chihuahuas. Now I'm wondering how OJ's going to get along with them. I have to keep him in the room, you know, don't let him run around the house there. How, you know, do you think chihuahuas are real small? I don't think there should be. They might snap at him a little bit and he'll go after one, but 5-on-1 isn't a good odds. So I got to keep an eye out for that. And if it doesn't work out, then I'll figure something else out. I'll let him stay in the car when I'm not there and bring him back in or whatever. Because when I'm at work, that's the thing I'm concerned with. Moving to a trailer park. It's called, it's over towards Delaware Park. What's the name of that? Murray Manor, sorry. What's it say? Yo, what's up, Matthew Stump? How you doing, dude? What's new and exciting? Yeah. I'm waiting to talk to him. I think tomorrow. Tomorrow's Tuesday, right? Tomorrow afternoon, I'm going to talk to him. I think Wednesday I'll be moving in. He had stuff he had to move out of the room, and I got stuff that I'm going to go put in my storage unit and figure out what I need and leave the rest of it. What's that? Put a lock on the door. Yes, I will. Exactly. Yep. You never leave him in the car alone, right? He will die. Now he doesn't because number one, I don't leave him in, but I have left him when I'm in work. But I have the windows down this far on all four of them, right? And then on top of that, I have an ice block in the back seat with the thing over. You can sit on it. And then on top of that, I have the windshield screen and tinted windows, so it actually stays cool in there. The silver reflective windshield thing, I put that up when I have to go in there. I didn't have any other way to go around it. Now I don't have to do that. He said, "Hey, how you doing? What's new with you, dude? Good seeing you." How you been, dude? We were talking about all kinds of different shit tonight. Started off talking about one thing that's pissing me off is Fauci. Today's the 11th. He was supposed to. Rand Paul went after him. One of the senators from Kentucky, about, he basically lied to Congress about all the shit and gain of function and a bunch of other shit. So if they were going to indict him, they had to do it by today. This dude's going to walk free. I have a feeling. I hope not, but I think he's just going to walk free, just suffering through all the bullshit. Exactly, dude. It's all we can do. Grit our teeth and roll through all this fucking shit. But you know what? On the way out, might as well drag a couple of them motherfuckers with us. They're going to kill us off. Bring them down with us. Super cheap, wait a minute, fan at Walmart. Plugs into a cigarette lighter. Yes, it's good, but the problem with that, you got to get one with a battery on it. And the games are not real long, and I'm in charge up in the upstairs, so I can leave and go and check on them, and I do. Bring them something to eat. He usually has a bowl of food up in there, and keep an eye on it. But he won't have to do that much longer, And he's calm and cool in the car. He doesn't bother him. And let's just say, I'm going to a tea store tomorrow. That's cool. Just got my utility bill. It's up to $600. Does that say $655 or $65? Wait a minute. Oh, it's up $65. You know what? Tammy was telling me she just got another electric bill, I think at her mom's house for $1,000. I don't know. Yeah, it was her mom's, not her. She owns a mobile home, but she goes over and takes care of her mom from time to time, and that's ridiculous. $1,000. That's what happened to me more or less when I lost my place. They hit me with like a $499 electric bill, and right behind it $1,000 one. That was last year. So now you guys are getting stung with it. Or I know Tammy is. She's out in Ohio. We got fucked over. Between that and they kept lifting the rent. That's another thing. It's part of the agenda. They want to get everybody out of their homes, out of their cars. You can go buy a fucking electric bike, ride around on an electric bike like this is China. They'll put your mask on and pedal uphill through smog so you can get that Beijing experience. Did you ever see that shit? They've been wearing masks over there for a longer time than we have, even before COVID, because of the smog, right? And they used to pedal around them bikes, and you're looking at them. How the fuck are you breathing through that? Whatever. Let's just say my electric bill went up $29. Then you guys got it easy. I'm not exaggerating. My bill last year, and it was right in the time I'm fighting eviction. I went and held them off for like a year and a half, just able to barely keeping it going. I had lost my job. They held off my fucking unemployment for like an extra 6 weeks, and it fucked me all up. And I couldn't grab a job quick, and I kept trying to get something that was worth the shit. Got nothing. Finally, I got hooked up, but it was too late. Eventually, what's it say? You got evicted for what? For being backed up in my fucking rent. I lost my job, and the electric bill was over. Was it over $1,000 in 1 month? But prior to that, it went all the way up to $499, and that was huge. And then the next month, it went up to. I started to think they were tacking on someone else's bill to mine, but no. It turns out, and you check out Newcastle County, did everything that everybody's bitching about out in Ohio right now. We already got zapped with. They're fucking trying to rip everybody out. And it wasn't even the electric that cost. It was the delivery charge. Well, I don't know what that fucking even means. What do you mean the delivery charge made it go up that much? What the fuck? That doesn't even make any sense. Ah, dude, that's months ago. I survived it, and I'm getting my shit back together. But you know what? Best thing ever happened to me, because it woke me the fuck up just in time to realize, yeah, you better toughen up, because this shit's, I'm telling you what, I'm seeing a lot of people going through the same shit where I'm at in the area. Every day, today actually, I went into a Wawa, not the one I usually go to. I told you about that. I went to the Wawa, got to get my coffee, and when going in there, a guy says, "Hey, you got a couple bucks?" Skinny as a rail, this guy. He was probably a drug addict, but he also had a, what do you call that? The hospitals put him on like a wristband telling, patient badge thing. He must have got pushed out of the hospital because he didn't have any health benefits. And he asked me for a couple dollars, and he looked like he was starving. And I went in, and I was going to buy him a sandwich. I gave him $7, and he's out there shivering because it was kind of cold. I had an extra coat in my car. It was actually a Timberland hoodie. I gave it to him because I couldn't stand to see this guy like that. It's just fucking bullshit. People walk right by. People walk over them. I can't do that. I come from a family of 9 where we were taught, you help people when they're down. What's this? That BS. What's BS there? What about trying to help someone? Is that what you're saying? Am I reading that wrong? Oh, you're saying like he's probably a drug, and he was. I guarantee you. I said, you take care of yourself, because, yep, one day the government is NS. Yeah, but I don't care. The guy looked like he was half starved. And yeah, he probably did it to himself. But you know what? I don't know how people can walk by and not at least get him a sandwich if you have a extra. And you know what? Whatever. Everybody has their own opinion, and I know there's people out there that are con men and everything else. But this guy wasn't con, and he had the band on his hand. He just got out and rolled out of the hospital. And the first thing I thought about is my younger brother, he's living in the fucking hospital. His mental illness. He's basically a ward of the state now. I used to take care of him. And when I saw that band, that's part of the reason why, I stopped and helped him. What's this? I would have buy him. Yeah, usually I do. And he said, "Can you help me out?" I don't even think he said, "Do you have money or something?" I think he just, "Can you help me out? I'm hurting," or something like that. But I saw that band on his wrist, and it just bothered the fuck out of me. Because that could be my brother, because eventually they'll probably boot him the fuck out of the hospital, and he has nowhere to go. So it is what it is. So, I can't turn my back.
Hang on for a minute. I need a drink of water. Yeah, it's usually better to buy them food. You know, I agree with that. But I didn't want to go back in and get something else and wait around. I was in the middle of DoorDash and I stopped, and I needed a cup of coffee. What's that about? What happened to me, or what happened to people getting booted out of the hospital? Because it's happening, believe it or not. Yeah. If you don't have health benefits, they'll do that quick, fast, and in a hurry. I've heard stories of that. That there was a lady, someone was telling me they rolled her right out down the street, dumped her out of the wheelchair, and left her. You know, that's kind of fucked up. I just don't like to see people going through shit and everybody ignoring them. And, a lot of people think that, well, they're scumbags. They did this or they did that. No, they're still God's children. Exactly. Exactly. They just leave them there. They don't give a shit, dude. That's how cold it's gotten. And that's the next thing is I'm worried about my brother because they're going to bring euthanasia down here. I'll tell you, they already got it up in Canada, and they're pushing it on elderly and stuff like that. The euthanasia, put you in the down like you're a fucking dog. That's some fucked up shit. Now, if you were suffering and it was your choice, I don't know. I'm not suffering. It's not, but that might be a little more understanding. It's still wrong, in my opinion, to kill someone than, almost pushing it on them. They think elderly people have no more value in society. So out the door they go. That's what's happening. You know what elderly people have? They have wisdom. They might not be able to run around and work and do things, but they got a whole lifetime of shit that they've learned. And if kids are smart, they'd listen to their elders, but they don't. And we're all guilty of that when you're growing up. I always thought I knew more than my parents. And then once they were gone, I realized motherfuckers were smart and I was the dumbass. But I thought it was the reverse. You got to learn the hard way. That shouldn't be allowed. You're right, Memory. That's the kind of world we live in, and people don't want to hear it. So if they don't hear it, it doesn't exist. Same thing with, there's 100 things like that. I can't think of another example. And if it's not happening to them, they don't give a shit. Well, that's not me, so I'm not gonna get involved. Well, that's what got us in this mess in the first place. Nobody gets involved in anything. Just walk by, don't give a shit. Step over to people, whatever. And that's what's fucking wrong with the world. We've lost our humanity. We used to, when something happened, we used to pull together. I can vouch for that. I'm old enough. I've seen it happen. It happened long before I was even born. After Pearl Harbor, people got together and worked together. And a lot of people joined up in the service to go and defend our country and fight for it. Years later, you had 9/11 that pulled people together. Now, if something happens, it's every man for themselves. They're going to cover their own ass and let everybody bleed out on the sidewalk. Nobody gives a shit. Sad but true, I shouldn't say nobody gives a shit, but far more don't want to get involved. And some of it is programmed and designed that way by society. You get sued or something if somebody, you try to help somebody and, you end up hurting them. You pick them off the ground, they fell. The lawyers come after you and all that shit. That's all got people afraid to even help anybody anymore. I'm afraid people aren't going to survive. That's the whole game plan, shortening the population, See, I'm going to show you something right now there, Memory. Look up at how many people are left. I guess I just made people feel like they didn't give a shit and they all rolled off. I don't know who's still here, but there's only one up there. It's because people don't want to feel guilty about the shit.
It's out of their control. I get it. But you can try. Try was never beat, you know? Even if you help one person one way or another, you know, God sees that stuff. Anyway, since there's nobody left, I think I'm going to roll off of here. And thanks for hanging around, Memory. You take it easy. You guys, anybody else on there, have a good night. Hitting the road and getting some dinner. See you later.